Hey everybody, welcome back to Forging a Nation in Iceland. I'm sorry it's been so long. I was on holiday. The last 3 episodes that have come out were basically staggered to release while I was away. So since I've been back last week, I've been blitzing through just to get to the point where we're at in the save. Currently, we've got so much to catch up on. Champions League is kicking off now. We are in the league phase proper, and we've got 2 other teams in Europe as well. But the league, we're actually struggling. Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode. Before we get into it, if you want to do us a massive favour and comment your thoughts, comment whatever you think about today. What's the weather like by you? It's grim where I am right now. Euros are starting tomorrow though. Comment down below actually, who do you think is going to win the Euros? Yeah, let me know what you think. So yeah, we've got a couple of bits of admin just to get out the way. So yeah, as I said, we're actually struggling a little bit in the league with 2 points off the top behind Breither Blip. We've lost 4 games this season. Like, I think that's probably the most games we've lost in a season for a long time. I don't think we've lost probably 4 league games in our last 2 or 3 seasons combined, never mind this one. You'll see that HK are in the Europa League next year. That is because they won the cup. They knocked us out in the semi-final, basically played them back-to-back and lost both games 1-0. Played them in the league, played them in the cup, and we were really sort of weak and insipid, really. Yeah, we've been a little bit off the boil at times this season. Let me have a look. I think we lost the cup, the pre-season cup. We lost the Breither 3-1 away, which was shocking in the semi-final. That was really poor. We actually took the lead as well, and then just capitulated in the second half. I don't really remember that one. It was a while ago, to be fair. But then, as you can see, we started off really, really well in the league, winning 7 or 8 games. Got revenge against Breither in the Community Shield, and then we lost this game to Akranis. Now, from what I remember about this game, we dominated it mostly, and I think both their goals were a little bit semi against the run of play. It wasn't a complete domination. This game against Breither, basically, this penalty that was missed was one of those ones where it's a clean tackle in from the side and the ball goes off in a completely different direction, suggesting that your players won the ball. But obviously the ref gives the penalty. He hits the post. This one, the tackle looked like it happened outside the box. Yeah, looked like it happened outside the box when you saw literally it was right on the edge, and it's one of them where if we had VAR, you'd expect it to go to VAR and be overturned. Because it was outside the box. So yeah, we lost that one. And then just to round off that horrendous run of 3 defeats in a row, this happened against Greta. Complete and utter domination. Couldn't put the ball in there. Stinker from Schwarz, stinker from Nygaard. Yeah, poor. We then managed to turn that around, get some wins on the board. And then here we go, the loss to HK in the league there. And the draw against Breither kind of helped save us a little bit. So we've got some work to do, but I'm optimistic. I think we can potentially do it. But the eagle-eyed of you will notice that we're in the Champions League phase. Well, I already mentioned that before. You'll see what happened here. We lost 2-1 at home to Midtjylland, and we absolutely dominated them. We really, really should have won. Nahua Lopez hit the woodwork twice when it was easier to score. And then scored from a chance where it would have been very easy for him to miss. But you'll notice a different formation, and that's because we have switched to a 4-4-2 diamond. We last used that, I think, in our 2nd or 3rd season. And so far it's working okay for us, because then we went to Midtjylland. Didn't have the lion's share of the chances as we did in the first half, but everyone performed to an absolute A grade standard, really, and we got the win. So just to quickly touch on the tactic change, we felt like the 4-3-3 wasn't really working as well as it had been in recent years. We're not sure why, whether the AI had sort of sussed it out and were sort of squashing us a little bit. I don't really know, but we felt like, we're generally quite stacked in midfield and up front, so why not try a system which gets 4 midfielders on, central midfielders on, and 2 strikers, especially because we've sent Ungaran back from his loan deal because we just weren't getting the use out of him, and he counted as a foreign player. I'm struggling to fit him into the team. Bojanovic is leaving at the end of this loan deal in October. So yeah, out and out wingers, we're sort of running low on a little bit. We have got one guy who brought in this guy, Michael Ritter. Part of the reason why we sent back Ungaran, he was a free signing, this guy. And he's Czech, so he counts as EU, so we don't have to worry about registration rules in that regard. So we've just brought him in as a bit of option, but bit of depth option, but he can play as a 10 as well if we really need him to, although his passing is not quite up to standard. So he would definitely be used as more of a winger in a sort of rotational sort of sense, but he's versatile. He can play a couple of positions. But yeah, Lopez, just to touch on him, he's the guy we brought in on loan from Boca. Now, his loan deal has an option to buy him for 4 mil up front and like 2.5 mil outright. 2.5 mil in installments. It's about 6 mil. Now, we've managed to raise about 6 to 7 mil through selling clauses. Like, we had a clause on Laji Torreira, who's not really playing much for Southampton. He's only got about 2 to 3 years left on his deal there, but his value is still about 15 to sort of 18, 19 mil. And we had a 45% sell on that. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just get the money now because I might lose that if they sell him at a cut price deal or, end up releasing him. So I basically managed to get 6 mil from him and a couple of other sort of clauses we sold. But I don't know if I'm going to basically spend my entire transfer budget on him. He's a very, very good player attributes-wise. He is brilliant, but he has not put up the numbers really, I wouldn't say. He's got a goal and assist in the Champions League, fair enough, but in the league, when he's played, he's not looked great. He's missed a lot of chances. He's generally been quite poor. He's underperforming his XG and underperforming his expected assists. There's just going to be a lot of money, I think, to bring him in, so I'm not really sure. I don't even know if he's going to want to make the deal anyway. Let's just see if he's going to want to come to us, but he might be one of these players who attributes-wise looks really good, but just doesn't translate. He's not interested anyway, so I don't really need to worry too much about that, I don't think. We are probably going to be losing Bezic at some point, as well as Umbala. Both players are having bids in the summer, and we both kept rejecting them. And thankfully, Bezic was happy to stay, and so was Umbala. But I think eventually we're gonna lose them. And who else is probably going to leave at some point? Nygaard is leaving at the end of his contract. Well, he's exploring his options. We haven't been able to sell him, not for a decent amount of money anyway. And then a couple of other midfielders like Löwer and Schmidt may end up moving on. Now, having touched on sort of transfers a little bit there, we'll sort of bring it quite nicely onto that now. So I think we'd already touched on Rakic as well last time. He's basically become on more on left back. And obviously we touched on Lopez and Mondo. We brought in a few youngsters after this. So we brought in Ibrahima Kouao. And basically these are all players who we found on youth intakes. So we just offered them trials and then just brought them in. He's someone who cost us a fair bit, but determination isn't great, but he's only 16, so he's got potential to develop, and I think he could turn into a decent loan farm player, or potentially someone we can sell for a profit if we can develop him nicely. Paul Hall was a similar thinking, so he's out on loan at Starnen. We brought him in from, I think it was Southampton for quite cheap, with the hope of actually potentially being able to flip him back to the Prem for money, because he will count as a homegrown player, but he's doing okay at Starnen, but hopefully he'll come good and develop a little bit more, but hopefully we can flip him back. Jorge Cardinale was quite an expensive signing, to be fair. Striker, may get more game time as we move through, now that we're potentially going to stick to a more two-striker system for the next few seasons, but mainly again a loan farm player who just not managed to get on loan yet. Same with Marco Fabrizi. He didn't cost us, I didn't think he cost us that much. Very young again, but I didn't think he cost us that much money. It was probably like an installments package and like league appearances and stuff like that. Same with Micciarelli. These are all players that we've just brought in at really, really young ages, so they develop homegrown status and can potentially be useful into the loan farm. Lorenzo Rinaldi is actually someone I think could turn into a good player for us. Again, signed him at the age of 16, and I actually think he's got the potential to be a decent player going forward. Barinaga is purely a loan farm signing. Same with Felipe Tambosi. Eventually, we're going to look to get these guys out into the loan farm. Eric Stravinsky was someone we brought in as a loan farm signing, and he's actually gone out on loan to Akranis and has done really well for them. He actually scored a goal against Breidablik, which won the game for Akranis, which was massive for us. Amadou Kone, again, another loan farm player, got him on a free. Felix Piazza, basically that run of games where we lost 3 in a row, we were a bit snookered because we had a few players away on international duty. we decided not to postpone the games, because then what happened last time I did that was we ended up with basically a game every 2 days. So we had like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday or something like that, and then like Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. It was just ridiculous. We ended up with like all these games like crammed in together. So we basically were having to sort of fit players into the team, and we were a bit snookered with the EU registration rules as well. So we basically got Felix Piazza in because he's French, so he doesn't have any restrictions on his ability to play in the league, because he's not an EU player. A lot of our defenders are non-EU. We've got, well, at that point we had Capaccio, he's now left, but Carrasco, Barrios, and who else was there? I can't remember who else, but basically we were really stuck. So he's gone. Massimo Aberronci, again, I think it was a free signing, was it? Yeah, free signing, another defender. Primarily a loan farm player, but might have some sort of role to play for us off the bench. Juan Castro, free signing. I actually think he could be really, really good once we can sort of get him into the team. He's a bit older, so he's got a little bit more experience, so hopefully he can do well. Yeah, he was free. So was Peter Breyer. Brought him in purely because he was free. Santiago Gallo left in the summer. He went to Saudi, so we brought him in. Now, Santiago Gallo was homegrown, but he was also foreign. So, Peter Breyer's coming in. He's actually done really, really well, to be fair. He's played a fair bit. And then Michael Ritter, we've touched on. Sorry, 60k Michael Ritter cost. He wasn't a complete free signing. And then in terms of outs, so we lost Adata for Valson. I can't remember if we talked about him or not. I think we had, actually. Mkwanazi we touched on. Ungaran we touched on. Lindstrom we definitely touched on, I remember that. So then the next one this is when I got back off holiday, it was Oscar Ragnarsson went to San Jose Earthquakes. So very good player for us. He is in terms of performance. He'd been with us for a long time, but the technicals did definitely let him down. And then when this bid came in, he really wanted to make that move, so we pushed for it. So we decided to sell him. We got some money for him, and we were pretty happy with that. Boubacar Diouf, we'd struggled to get back out into the loan farm for those first couple of years, so we decided to let him go. Kevin Oviedo, his performances had really dropped. He really wasn't doing very well. We ended up making quite a loss on him in the end. I think we made a loss of about 800 to 900k. Ezequiel Capaccio was a free signing, and then when clubs came in for him, he really wanted to make the move, so we were like, that's fine. Same with Santiago Gallo, lost a little bit of money on him, but again, he wanted to make the move. But some of these losses that we've made over like Gallo and Oviedo, we've made up on profit on Capaccio, who was free, Al Afalek, who was free as well. Ahmed Matuk, we were struggling again midfielders wise and trying to get players in the team, and we just sort of looked to see if we could get something for him. We'd already, we weren't really going to be able to make our money back from him. Technically, he was not as good as some of our midfielders that we had, although he did have some other very good attributes, and he likes big matches and he's consistent and he's professional, but he sort of wasn't really delivering quite what we wanted really after a while. Now we have better players for his position, more well-rounded players, so he's gone on loan to Midtjylland, and they do have an option to buy. So just quickly, we are going to play our first game in the Champions League today against Ajax, but in terms of the other European competitions, we've got Breidablik in the Europa League, and we've also got HK in the Conference League. We were so close to having a second team in the Conference League, and that team was Bala Reykjavik, who after beating Maccabi Tel Aviv 2-1 in Tel Aviv, lost to a 119th minute extra time goal at home. And they were so close to getting into the Conference League, and that would have been incredible for them. And us. Meanwhile, the other team that we had were Hafnarfjordur, who flew past the Brecon and AIK before losing to Genoa at the final hurdle. Genoa just a little bit too strong for them. Just thought I'd filter it down quickly, actually, just to show the others better. So meanwhile, Breither did very well, beating Red Star Crvena Zvezda 4-2 away from home, before losing to Galatasaray 3-2 on aggregate. And then as for HK, they got past Čučeriki Strankom of Serbia. What's that, 5-4 on aggregate, before losing 4-1 in Bruges, but then actually beating them 2-1 at home, which meant that they just dropped down into the Conference League. And HK are actually doing really, really well. They've been a real surprise package this season. They seem to have really developed since they've been promoted, and they've come on really, really well in the last couple of years, helped by having Omerson and Benitez and Björnsson as well as Bednar or on loan from us. Or actually, they got Thomason as well and Hugo Neyer, but they're not really playing Neyer that much. But yeah, they've done really, really well. And I would expect them to challenge potentially a bit more strenuously for the title next year. It's a little bit probably out of their grasp at this point in time to really push. Who knows? There's 6 points off with 5 games to go, but I think if we can beat them, and we just need to, realistically, we're going to have to win all 5 games to make sure we get the title, but there's definitely the potential for Braithwaite to slip up at somewhere along the line. But as it is next season with us sitting in 12th, so with HK winning the Europa League and going in at the playoff, what's this one as well? Is this for the cup? I can't remember. With them going in at the playoff, I believe they are guaranteed Conference League football, which is huge. So whoever basically comes third or wins the cup or whatever is going to be guaranteed that. But I actually think we're potentially going to be having 2 teams going into the Europa League next year by the looks of things. So that's really, really good. Just pushes everything up a little bit. As it stands at the moment, based on our performances so far, we are actually in with a shout. Currently, at this state in play of going up into 10th. Obviously, there's a lot of football to be played between now and then, but definitely bodes well at the moment, given how we've done, and hopefully we can all chip in and perform. But after Ajax, I definitely feel like we could have got a worse draw. Like we've got Ajax, Trabzonspor, Milan, Arsenal, Young Boys, and Leipzig, and then I think we've also got Monaco and Atleti. So we played Atleti last year in the Europa League. We've played Young Boys before. I can't remember if we played Trabzon before. Have we played Leipzig before? No. And have we played Trabzon before? No, okay, so we've not played them. Okay, but I know when we played Young Boys, we struggled. We beat them once, and then they smashed us. This is a good few years ago, though, to be fair. But there's some tough games there for us, but definitely could have been harder. But the way we're playing, I'm not quite sure how well we're going to do. So this is the team we're going to pick today for the game against Ajax. Now, like I said, I just don't know how we're going to perform because this new tactic is still relatively in its infancy with this group of players. Good familiarity already, to be fair, but I just don't know how good it is against like the bigger teams, to be fair. It might work really, really well. I like having Diarra as the anchor, although I do think he as an individual leaves a little bit to be desired. He does give the ball away a little bit too often for me now, and it's getting to a point where I feel like his mentals can't really carry him much further. And if we get a decent bid in for him, I will probably look to shift him on and just sort of phase him out a little bit eventually. If not, because mentally he is great, but he does just give the ball away a little bit too often for me. But yeah, Rakic has been really, really good. Ungoy potentially, again, on the way in a little bit, I think is we're going to look at basically using that money that we've got to try and recruit some stronger defensive players, mainly in the central areas, because Svensson, again, not it anymore really. We really need to start improving them. So the scouts are on it. Chiapara is going to play in goal. He is a much better keeper than Rondo, although Rondo is young, but it feels like he's actually developing quite nicely. But Chiapara is a little bit more rounded and a bit more experienced at the moment. And he can definitely play a sweeper because he's really good at passing the ball. And we could probably actually look to play out of defence a little bit. Actually, not play out of defence, sorry, because the defenders aren't very good at ball playing. And then midfield, Mbala is really, really good technically, and I'm hoping he can really sort of push on at the age he's at and hopefully develop and generate some money for us in the window. Abinho is just pretty reliable, pretty solid. Don't really see any need to change him yet, like at the expense of someone else, for example. He's sort of generally quite reliable. Besic is fantastic. Rodriguez Vasquez is developing really nicely still, and then we're going to give Lopez a chance. See, the thing about Lopez is because he's so big and strong, he's really good at holding up the balls up long. We can afford to go long with him because he's really good at winning them and knocking them down. He just doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. So back in the Champions League after a few years away, money was so helpful in our account as soon as we guaranteed progress into the league phase. So I'm hopeful of a good showing. Get out if we can. Get out. and get some more money that way. And hopefully we can get ourselves off to a good start today by picking up some sort of result here in Amsterdam. It's going to be tough, but these are the games that we're going to get at this stage now. We really need to, if we want to be here, we want to earn our place here, we're going to have to start performing against these teams. And, even if it's a 1-0, we need to just start picking up 3 points. But under no illusions how hard it's going to be. I might take off counter press because I find, I'm just going to go it long actually, and I find that when you're playing against a good technical team, the counter press doesn't work. They just ping the ball around your counter press really well. Come on, Abinho, you've got to do better with it. After I just talked you up before the game as well, goes and loses the ball and they go and score. I don't think he was offside. I don't think he was offside. Love it if he was though, but I don't think he was. Fine, we like that. We do like that. He was offside. Didn't see it myself. Oh yeah, actually it was miles off. Fair play. Hibs beating Leipzig potentially bodes well for us. If Leipzig are potentially a little bit on the wane. This could go in. Nearly went in. Not going well so far. And also, the only thing as well about Lucas, he's really good from corners, so he just gets defaulted onto corners, even though I keep changing it, because obviously I want him heading the ball in, but he's just played a cross in and Rakic just scored. Incredible. Incredible. Because a lot of our corners lately haven't really worked. It's been really annoying. Like, usually we pride ourselves, I pride myself on my corners, to be fair. I like to think I can often get them working quite nicely, but they've not really worked that well in recent months, and I think that's partly contributed to our struggles a little bit, because we usually get a good chunk of goals from corners and it's just not really been working, but we'll take that one. Can we do the same again? Another Nahuel Lopez corner? Not quite. Nice. Did think it looked a little bit suspicious that he was in that much space. I'll take this at the moment. A nice 1-0 away from home. Can we keep this up till half time? Let's make sure. Let's just make sure we get to half time at 1-0. Time waste a little bit. Be a bit disciplined. Let's not do anything stupid actually. Let's just go long. Slow it down. Just try and Why? Why? Why do I even sort of say these things? Why do I even say these things? Well away by Svensson. He intercepted it well and then faffed around on the ball. And that's onside, and it's a great block. That's not good. That was far too easy. Okay, well, 1-1 at half-time. Right, they're taking off Alarcon. I mean, he was very, very injured, I think, by the looks of things. So, that makes sense. think I would actually be tempted to go long anyway. Like, that's shocking. That was really, really poor. Besic is not having a poor game. Is having a poor game. Not me talking him up before. Why haven't you passed the ball yet? Not the pass. It was not the pass at all. Right. Some changes need to be rung. So, maybe we'll take off Mashuka then, if he's having a poor game. He is having a poor game, so... I really like the deep line forwards always, but I find for him it kind of suits the role that we want him to do. Can we maybe bring on Juan Castro? Maybe we will bring on Juan Castro. He's not really played a huge amount yet, but no time like the present. And Bala can come off. Ring the changes. Yes, Sabinho, come on. Oh, lovely pass. If he scores now, no. That's why you're coming off, because you take too bloody long. Great. Great. That's what I mean, like the corners just don't seem to come to anything sometimes. Tried tweaking them a little bit and, you know, keeping things fresh. Just not really doing anything. Oh my word, how did that not go in? Like, how did that not go in? Come on, this is better though. This is a lot better. We're closing down. Was that the Arasuba there? Yeah, well done. Well recovered. How did that not go in? How? How are they only at the side netting? Come on, boys. Definitely been a lot better at sort of towards the end of the second half. Well, in the last 10 minutes anyway. That's offside. That was, like, that did look about a mile off, to be fair. Yeah, that was not really up for debate, to be honest with you. Yeah, again, very, very offside. Yes, come on, Lopez. It's the post. He loves hitting the post in. Right, I think final change. And it will be Lerva on for Lopez. And he'll go as an attacking midfielder, maybe on attack. Yeah, nothing Castro. Well, maybe as a track. Can you do a track? You could do a track. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, start creating some chances. I definitely feel like we're good for something here. Definitely feel like we're good for something. Really stepped it up in this second half. Great ball. DRC will lay it off. Schmidt. Why? I mean, he won the corner, but he was never going to score from there. No chance in hell was he scoring from there. Oh, Svensson, what are you doing? You completely got the wrong side of him then. Good block. Is it going to be a late twist here? A late sting in the tail for the Dutch Giants? No. Zabinho gives the ball away this time. Nice. Flick it over. At least he didn't... He nearly gave the ball away with that under hit pass. That was awful. What a waste. What an absolute waste. Livid. Definitely felt like we could have got something from this game. Yeah, we actually ended up with a slightly higher XG as well. Meanwhile, Braither kicked off their Europa League campaign with a 3-1 loss at home to Copenhagen. Yeah, not good. Obviously, HK won't play yet in the Conference League. They don't start till a little bit later. So everyone, what I'll probably do is I'll look to maybe bring it back for maybe like the Young Boys or the Leipzig game, if that's okay. So another few months away, but yeah, I'll look to bring it back then, and we can touch base with how we're getting on in the Champions League. Hopefully, we're going to be in with a shot of getting through into the next round. I'll just take finishing 24th at this stage if I can, to be in with a shot of getting through. That'll be lovely. Getting a win against Trabzon in the next game would be massive for us. Except the fact that we might struggle to pick up anything against Milan or Arsenal, but if we can beat Young Boys, potentially sneak something at Leipzig, and then potentially sneak something at home to Monaco. Basically, really, we're aiming for 9 points, aren't we? So 3 wins really is what we're looking for. And if we can steal a couple of draws in, amazing stuff. Like I said, everyone, I hope you have enjoyed the episode. Let me know who you think is going to win the Euros. So it's currently Thursday. The Euros start tomorrow. I'm hoping to get this episode out tonight. If not, it will be tomorrow. So let me know who you think is going to win. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.